if I put an ad in the Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times that I had $1 billion to fund deals to be purchased between 3 and 6 times EBITDA, we could fill this estate up, shoulder to shoulder, 150 acres. 150 acres, shoulder to shoulder. There'd be 300,000 people standing shoulder to shoulder.
Of sellers?
Yes.
Sellers? Okay.
But if you don't turn over about, and when you tell them 3 to 6 times, they think 6. And that's why you only plan on paying 3.
Right.
But they think 6, you think 3.
Right.
Because the whole, not the whole idea, but much of the idea, let me back up a second. In some industries, like high tech, that are, off the charts, it's 8 to 12 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
None of you guys are involved in high tech.
Mm-hmm.
You're close to bricks and mortars. Some of you are below bricks and mortars. I mean, the healthcare deals are going between, I'm doing a deal right now, I call a bedpan deal, elderly deal. It's 5.6. 5.6. We told them 3 to 6. And I'm convinced that if we told them 3 to 5, it would have been 4.6. Because they're all trying to get rich or retire off one deal. Everybody, I don't give a fuck where they are in the world. Because nobody structures their deals right. They can't admit that they spent 25 fucking years in one deal. They've pissed away 25 years of their life on one motherfucking business, and this is all they're going to get for it. So then you just got to keep turning the rocks over. And and EBITDA is, and we're talking about free cash flow. Did you go through the difference between free cash flow, not uncommitted or unlevered, because levered cash flow is not free. That means it's committed to something else, and that's the biggest mistake. One of the three biggest mistakes that not just the QLA kids make when they go out there and look at deals. They look at a summary financial stats. And cash flow is not defined properly.
Right.
And so they don't realize that cash was all fucking committed to loans or whatever. And they spend an inordinate amount of time. Then when they're doing due diligence, it comes out. And as I said the first day, and I said in the seminar, for those of you who can remember, in 46 years of doing this, I've never seen due diligence produce a higher sales price. In 46 years, and I've looked at thousands and thousands and thousands of deals. Due diligence is a euphemism for knocking the fucking sales price down. Knocking the sales, and sometimes I've seen somebody wants $15 million, and at the end of the day, they wind up paying me $9 million to take it off their hands. But their dipshit business broker told them we can sell it for $12 million, $15 million. And the business broker is a euphemism for a fucking thief. And the boutique investment bank's only one cunt hair above that. The only legitimate ones, and I use the word legitimate with some margin, Goldman Sachs, BofA, Morgan Stanley, those guys. And those guys are still, stick it to you if they can. But it's and the real reason that you can't pay more than 3 to 6 is because you can't finance it. Remember the deal. This is no money, Eduardo. None of our money.
Right.
You can pay 25 times that. God bless you. May Allah go with you. But I mean, where are you gonna get the fucking money? And then when you can't finance it, then you got to bring in private equity. And then you're out. Mm-hmm. You add no value to any transaction you will ever think of in your miserable life.
Right.
Not just you, but the group.
No, I get that.
Okay. So as soon as private equity and hedge funds are investors of last resort. No, the ultimate investor of last resort is your own money. And I was just telling the other group, I committed to a deal to put my own money in a couple of days ago. Got nothing to do with you guys. It's completely different. Thank you. Because I know in this particular instance, time is of an essence. It's got to, if it doesn't get off the ground in the next 7 to 15 days, it's going to die. And so that'll happen to you.
This is a QLA deal?
No, I had nothing to do with QLA.
Right.
Had nothing to do with it. I mean, I get deals like toilet paper sent to me. I mean, fucking, most of them are toilet paper, I might add. Yeah. Don't send me any deals, YouTubers, please. Wipe your ass with them first, and then move on, okay? Mm-hmm. So, 3 to 6, and if it's more than 3 to 6, if you're going to pay more than 3 to 6, the fact that they're taking back paper allows you that bridge. Instead of doing bridge financing or mezz financing, they were just explaining to me a deal in the other room. 40% down, the guy wants. My ears perk up. 40% down. So it implies, where's the other 60% coming from? He's willing to take back paper for 60%. Oh. I'm starting to get an erection. It's starting to lift the table up. Okay? And then I had an orgasm when he said, and he's willing, he doesn't want to get paid, he'll get paid over 7 to 10 years. I then collapsed with a big heart on spurting up spurt. I mean, boom, boom, like a fucking fountain. So it's 7 years, 60% carryback paper, 40% down, and you'll stay with the business 3 years.
Wow.
But you know how many deals they look at, the guy looked at to get that? I don't want to spoil my erotic moment, but I know, because I see his weekly reports, okay? But they are there, goddammit. They are there. But if it was easy, there'd be a QLA shop on every corner like fucking Starbucks. And I know how many calls a little fuckhead has made, And I could you hand me my thing back there, please? And I treat you all the same as my daughter, my lovely daughter. I know you don't watch me, honey. Yeah, on YouTube. If my lovely daughter was here, she'd say, "She says, Daddy treats us all the same, like shit. This is the only daughter I'll ever have." Because I do. Because my experience is, if I'm nice to Alex. Not just because he's a fucking Ruski, but especially because he's a Ruski. He doesn't know. He only knows Didi.
Yeah.
The Russian, right?
So how I go up.
Yeah. And the guy from Bulgaria, he says, which I guess is kind of like Russ. He says, we only know beating. We only know. You want to see my scars on my back? We only know this. And if my father were here, he'd say, just look at the evidence of how I turned out. And at my 70th birthday, more than a year ago, my kid brother, who he says if Dad had beat me as much as he beat my older brother Dan, I would have been more successful. My kid brother is the number 2 guy in the Los Angeles County Fire Department, which is I think the largest fire department in maybe on the planet. He's the number 2 guy, and but he's 56 or 58, something like that. And he says that, but Dad beat me, but not like he beat Dan. And my dad started to get tired because I'm 16 years or 15 years older than my kid brother. But getting back to this, 4 to 6, and you can stretch that to 8 or 9 times if they take paper back. Okay, if they take the paper back. And when somebody like this deal that they just described me that I had an orgasm over, when they say they only went 40% down, I started getting dizzy. I thought, what the fuck? I mean, the air is too light. in here. And then when he said he'd take it over 7 to 10 years, I almost fucking dropped.
But then it's 60%. If you take this is the note what he gets back, but the percentage of the equity, I mean, if you get more than 50%, then you can screw up your deal or something, you know.
No, we're buying 100%.
Yes.
Okay.
That's very
but we're going to own for 60% of it, and we're going to and we're going to pay him for 40% of it, because he's figured out. I didn't know. I didn't ask this question, but when we meet up again, I'm going to say, does he think that 40% is enough for him to retire on? Okay, maybe it is, or maybe it's enough to buy his daughter a condo, or I don't really give a shit why, but he's figured out that 40% of the purchase price is all he needs up front. God bless him, you know. And on top of it, the business is a 40% margin business. I mean, it's, you know, and then he asked me, is this, do you think this is hot? And I look around the room, I says, yeah, I don't think it, I know it. And I said that, he said, well then, you're saying I should go forward? I go, yeah. During the first break, you call the fucker up. You know, make sure he's not, you know, he understands you're serious. You understand you're serious, so he doesn't, you know, doesn't fall off the turnip truck. And but this is after he's pivoted once. He was in love with the first industry, and then he found out that for whatever reason, rightly or wrongly, the industry was hard to get people to take back paper. Part of the reason that it was hard to get people to take back paper in his first industry is because the industry is it's tough, and they want it out. They don't want to be there because, you know, it's, you know, certain aspects of different industries that are, you know, aren't long for this world. I mean, they're being made. It's like the buggy whip business. You know. The people that were in the buggy whip business the last 15, 20 years all went bankrupt. It's like Smith Corona typewriters. Remember? Well, maybe you're not old enough to remember Smith Corona typewriters. Okay, typewriters. And then, you know, the IBM, what do you call it, came out. And so Smith Corona went out of business. And it's just like certain kind of drill bits are no longer used in the drilling business. There's certain things. And now they're delivering stuff by drone. Okay, pretty soon the little UPS trucks, those guys are history. And believe me, the guys that are close to retirement, boy, I got to get out of this place. But I mean, look at the drone. But and of course, then my favorite story is when they were building the channel. They said first of all it's going to cost $3 billion. Channel was the tunnel between Britain and France. It's going to cost $3 billion. Okay. Then it's going to cost $5 billion. Then it's going to cost $7 billion. It wound up costing $11.5 billion. Okay, that's one. Two, it went bankrupt 2 or 3 times. Okay. 3, the cultures between the French and the English. Anybody that had half a brain realized that there's no way humanly possible it's going to get done on time. And then McKinsey, as legend has it, wrote a 9 million page, which is an exaggeration, report saying that it was going to do away with the hovercraft, you know, the boats that are on the water that go between France and England, and 2 or 3 other industries are going to be marginally affected. None of those were affected. Okay, they went out of business because cheap airlines from De Gaulle to Gatwick, you could fly for 15 euros. But all the research they did for years and years and years and years, not one guy came up with the idea that somebody was going to come up with low-cost air carriers. So no matter how long you look at these deals, it's already, you know, the first 2 presentations we had, several of the kids, thought of things that they didn't think of. And that's why the hardcore seminar replicates what your dream team should be giving you vis-a-vis information. And if they're not, one of the guys in there says that, well, based on this, you know, the only person that's worth a shit on my deal is my chairman. That's not me. It's somebody else. And I said, it sounds like it was. He says, all the board members, they only got negative things to say. They don't have time. They don't take my calls. They can never meet. And they can never go anyplace with me to on one of these meetings. I said, well, get rid of them.